Hi guys, Hotshot here, and welcome back once again, of course, to another video. Thank you guys for watching, obviously, and in this one, we're going to have a bit of a quality of life discussion. And in this one, we're going to talk about some ideas that I was able to come up with based off my own time in the game, obviously, and if you see on the screen, I'm talking about Evil Ash. The devs have said a while back that they're going to work on quality of life updates with the game, and I'm hoping that's for both Demon and Survivor, some gameplay mechanics. It's been a long time since they've spoken. Last time they spoken was the dev Q&A, or the dev interview. I'm sorry, it was a dev interview, and they were talking about some stuff that they were work on, because they said they're taking a break from adding content and putting in quality of life updates, which is, it doesn't sound bad, but for the fact that we're not getting content for a while is kind of a huge L, because we all want, like Chet in the game and Brandy, Dalton, Knights of Samaria, those types of characters. So without further ado, let's hop into the video here. So for a long time, this character has been my favorite, and we're going to go over just a few things. So for the first change that they should look into, it says here in my notes, a faster attack speed to make Evil Ash's melee attacks more fluid and effective. So in other words, I think his attack speed needs to be buffed. I think, for instance, because his attacks are just really easy to dodge and he's really slow. For how slow he moves, the only thing he really has is just his animation canceling, and if you take that away, like, what else does he really have in his kit other than that? Because he doesn't really have much. I still feel like you should be able to cancel it, but I still think for his speed and the lack of speed that he does have, it really takes away any it takes away a lot of options for him to actually do decent against decent teams. For some guy who's in the game for since launch, he's been on the ups and downs. I'm gonna say, for a while he was really good, and then afterwards he kept getting nerfed after nerf after nerf every patch, so it's been pretty bad for him to compensate with the fact that he hasn't been really that strong. I think because his attacks are just really easy to dodge, and you can do a combo where you do light, into a 2 heavy attacks. You can animation cancel mid-combo to get more of a string and to make them waste more stamina, but for most experienced players that know how to play the game pretty well, his time to really hit somebody takes a while. So if they buff his attack speed to make him better, that would help him guarantee hits in, so that way it's not too hard to handle. Army of Darkness Ash's chainsaw, or just his regular attack speed is at 5 bars. They could make his attack speed a little bit faster on Evil Ash, so hopefully that's something to look into. Kind of, it doesn't have to be crazy fast where it's super hard to dodge, but just something to make him feel better, so his flow can feel better in certain situations. So hopefully they look at his attack speed and buff it a little bit. My second suggestion is an increase in health, as Evil Ash can sometimes feel a bit squishy in comparison to other demon characters. And I've noticed when I play games with him and I see hunters that, they stick with the team pretty well. Hunters that have legendary weapons, or just Hunter Ash or Kelly, for instance, they just melt my boss unit within seconds. And like I said before, they need to remove legendary weapons and purple rarities out the game, because that just ruins it really fucks up the balance in a sense. Now, I think the boss units in all these games, or just in this game specifically, they need to buff the health on all of them, because legendary weapons and purple weapons have a huge effect. And even when you're playing this guy, his even the melee weapons do a little bit too much, because they nerf the balance bar, and they really set the impact of how it really sets the tone of how easy he is and squishy. It's just hard because the amount of damage that the warriors can do to him, and how much hunters can do to him. And I think if they take a look at his health, because all the bosses in the game should have tankier health, so that way they can really pressure the survivors a little bit more, so that way the demon can have better options to tank. So imagine Evil Ash with faster attack speed, more health, and he would be a better boss unit in my opinion. So I think a buff in health would be very nice. My third suggestion is a decrease in cooldown for Evil Ash's abilities, because it currently takes longer to recharge and it leaves him vulnerable for an extended period. So this suggestion I made was because of the fact that with when he summons skeletons and when he resurrects them and when he heals off of his grab, I can tell for one thing it has a long cooldown. So it's like, I think his skeletal support is like 60 something and his resurrection is like 70 something seconds, and his grab I think is like 15 seconds. I think the grab is fine. You can leave the grab alone. They should buff it a little bit more, obviously, or like they could buff all his cooldowns and make it better. But I don't know, it's a really difficult thing, because I think if they nerf the cooldown or buff it, or not nerf, or decrease the cooldown off of his abilities, I think he would be in a better position to not spam it, but like use it off cooldown again when he has options. Like I think 70 seconds off an ability of the boss kind of takes away the vulnerability to leave him in a certain state, because like if he's out for like too long, then the cooldown that you use it already just like takes a long time for you to come back and use it again. Like if I summon skeletons as soon as I spawn the boss, and obviously I'm swinging my sword for a long time, and at one point I don't have it back yet because it's still on cooldown, it sets the tone that the abilities need to be looked at even more, because of the fact that there's not a lot he can really do. Now, there are decent Necromancer players out there that know what they're doing with him, but I just feel like with his abilities, there could be more, or just if you decrease the cooldown on it, you can really spawn more waves of skeletons with him, because the way you play this guy is he's basically like a support demon for his units, basically. And with the support basically being like you're buffing the army of darkness, you want to make sure you're summoning more waves of skeletons. You're using your resurrection to get them back up in the fight to make that last longer, for them to waste more resources. That would apply more pressure onto them. Maybe if it was like, I don't know, maybe like 45 seconds or 30 seconds to use it more, then that would be a fantastic idea to buff his choke ability, or his skeletal support, or his skeleton resurrection. I mean, I don't think he needs a dodge, honestly, because I feel like that just, I don't know what you would really use it for, because sometimes I don't use it. I mean, I do dodge into a grab if in a 1v1 scenario to stall more time to get my health back, but that would be a nice change for that regard to help him out more. Now, so if we've gotten through 3 points, we have 2 more. So these 2 are like probably the biggest ones. An increase in the range of Evil Ash's ability to raise and command skeletons, as it sometimes can feel a bit limited in its current state. So this one is huge. Because I said this for a long time, that Evil Ash needs to be able to command his skeletons to attack a certain survivor, and it fits his lore, and he does it in the movie, he does it in the comics, he's done it in various ways, and you can have a thing where he has like a holographic image of the survivor he wants to pick, and you can send your wave of skeletons. The ability to raise more, I think with his skeletal support, I think what could be changed on that is he can summon more skeletons rather than having 2. You could have an extra skeleton in the skill tree. It's called skeletal reinforcement, where it summons 1 extra skeleton, which is not enough. I think, in my opinion, he could have 3 basic units and 3 elites on the field, like if he wants to summon more. Because as a Necromancer, you're summoning stuff that comes to your kit. Like Necromancer summons skeletons, so for him, he could summon more to summon a bigger wave of units on the field. It would be crazy, but there's ways to counter that with iframes. Like if you want to use a finisher to do that, I think that would be nice. In a state that he doesn't have a lot really to go off when he's summoning units, because like when he summons them, you just swing your sword around and just try to gain value off of your heal block ability, so your support can waste all those heals. And for that statement, like, you can make it so if he summons more skeletons and can command the skeletons too, because he is the commander of the Army of Darkness, then he should be able to send waves of units to the survivors, so they waste more resources and they panic, and then they get caught in that state of thought. So I think being limited in the current state, like I say, can really impact him, because he needs more to his kit. I think this would help him out more in those situations. So that's just a fourth quality suggestion. I think number 5, I think most people would agree with 4 and 5. A reduction in the energy cost of Evil Ash's Infernal Energy, because it takes a lot of energy to use, leaving him vulnerable to survivors who can quickly, like, make him waste time and drain energy. So with his kit, like, he's really energy hungry with his units, because, like, they cost a lot to possess, and you can make builds on reducing the infernal energy cost to spawn them, but I feel like, for instance, when you have all your time, it just really costs a lot for you to possess, and with every time that you're summoning units and you're putting them on the field, like, your infernal energy bar goes all the way down. And I think I saw a few people on YouTube comments and Reddit, and they were saying, like, even in Twitch streams, that, I think it's a bug for the elites, because the basic units are fine, I think, because I don't want them to be super cheap for possession, but the elite units have a bug, I think, where it costs way more than it should, because I think they decreased the infernal energy cost to possess elite units, and in some cases I think there's a bug where it costs more, or just in general, it just really has a huge negative impact on his gameplay, or maybe there should be a way to spawn more of the energy cost, and maybe there should be ways to collect more orbs on the map or something. I think with his kit, where you have it at, is they need to look at his energy cost and tone that down a little bit more, so that way it's easy for him to apply more pressure onto them. Now, with these quality of life changes, I'm not expecting them to be in the game. These are just suggestions. These are just potential changes that they could make. I think faster attack speed, more health, less cooldown time, commanding his skeletons and summoning more skeletons, and reducing his infernal energy cost on possessing units, because I think he has one of the most negative impacts on possessing stuff, and same with Warlord. I'm going to do videos for every demon and survivor to kind of make feel like they need better changes, because I know Amanda can use something, Pablo can use something more to really give them better opportunity. I'll just say this for Pablo. I think if Pablo's high fear, they need to make it so if Pablo is at maximum fear, he should be revealed to the demon for maybe 5 seconds, 12 seconds or something, because it's kind of stupid how he can just be still invisible and yet he can't be seen on the map, so that person will just hide the whole rest of the game without being caught. So it is a giant pain in the ass. But other than that, that's pretty much the changes I would make. Now, to his overall perks that he has, from flute to kill, I'll put comments on that, because I don't want to make this video super long. So I'll put my ideas in the comment section, and you guys can have a discussion if you guys comment on that. I think for most cases, this is what I think should be in the game. And like I said, these are just opinions. Hopefully this makes it into the game. Maybe not. I'm going to do one for Henrietta, Plaguebringer, and Ball. And then I'll start from Leader Ash all the way down to Blacksmith. And then we'll see how the time goes on when it's on there. So we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and sub, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Stay groovy.